It's hammer time. Yo, dog, Kenny Boucher here. Next level painting, hitting you up on the literal best of all days, coming to you from the Beats Lab in Hollywood, California. We're doing it again. Today I got something super special for you guys. We got 3D art digital on deck. We're working on that Orc Warlord. Hey yo, if you haven't heard of it, that's fine. I didn't know about these guys until just a little bit ago. This isn't a paid ad. I'll make that very clear. They sent me this model. They contacted me. They said, hey man, you want to take a look at some thug-nificence? And I said, yeah, dude, all day. I'm in the market. Enough of that. We will dive deep into that. We have a lot of work to do on this miniature. I got to show you some of this gangster shit. And of course, give me 1 second, guys. I got to promote. We have a business, Next Level Painting. It is essentially free to play / loot crate. So guys, we got Patreon. That is the home of all of our VIP exclusive access. You get to see these videos and more early, ad-free. Some videos never even make it to YouTube, but all of our Twitch VODs make it to Patreon, even though Twitch deletes them eventually. We also have monthly reward bag opportunities, gift bags, and more. End of promotion. Let me shout out a couple individuals who supported me this week on Patreon. Anthony, Blues Light Painting, Florian, Chris, Keegan, Jared, Charles, David, Revoke. Much love, guys. Can't do it without you. We got one special shout out from a main man, Jane. Thanks for watching. There he is, guys. Orc Warlord by 3D Art Digital. Yo, how did this model escape my radar for so damn long? This dude is basically the Malibu Barbie for grown-ass men. Let me show you real quick. Look at all these accessories. The crazy part here is 3D Art Digital doesn't play games. Their 3D art is that next level. All these things basically don't need glue. You don't have to glue this motherfucker together if you don't want. They even provide magnets if you want to go that route. They provide multiple accessories, multiple swaps. I literally cannot believe I didn't know about this model. This is not a paid ad. I literally was contacted by these individuals and they said, have you seen this model? And I said, nah, dog, send me one, whatever. Showed up in the mail, immediately stopped everything. Was like, hold the phone. Look at this armor. Look at these accessories. Look at the details. I have to get my hands on this right now and paint it. Got to spread the word about these models. They got more than just the Orc Warlord, but like, yo, I'm gonna paint this motherfucker right now. We are indeed giving away this model once we finish painting it at some point on Twitch. But I also do have the Goblin Raider, which is also amazing with tons of accessories. But here, I'm just showing you guys, look at this, man. Like all this stuff, all these details. Now, I am gonna glue this motherfucker up, okay? We're gonna leave some of these deets on, some of these deets off, depending on how I want to airbrush it. But I just want to show you the scope, the magnitude of details that we are about to take on as a project here at Next Level Painting. We are going to make this dude look magnificent. I Googled this guy for inspiration. There's no painted versions of this Warlord on the internet. So we're going to be the first one here, that Next Level Painting style, but we're going to do it with a twist. We are going to chase the more muted scheme or stay a little bit more realistic than we normally do, which is always a fun break when it strikes my fancy. But let me show you what we're going to work on here today. Puck, how? Look at this. That's a hammer. He comes with an axe, and then they accessorize with a sword and a hammer. I said, dog, I need this hammer in my life. Look at the size of that hammer. That dude is speaking to my zombie apocalypse fancies. Look at that. Even this hammer was like 8 parts. And look how big it is, but still how much detail it has. Insane. So here we go. This is the tutorial. Decayed metal, scale 75. My new Grex airbrush, never used before, just pulled it out of the box. Little Vallejo flow improver. Get some of that decayed metal in there. Now, I don't really use this metal very often, but it has a very interesting look. Now, look, I'm not a scientist, so I'm just going to call it dark gold for now. That's basically what I see. But scale 75 metallics are known for their easy to apply formula, but also the muted aspect. They're not nearly as glittery. They're really solid. I love them. I have essentially switched completely over to these metallics for most day-to-day operations here at the Beats Lab in Hollywood. There we go. We're just going to spray it on. Do our best to get maximum coverage. We don't want to overload the details here. We want to make sure we have subtle, silky smooth top coats. Let it dry. Do a second pass if you have to. That's simple, guys. All right, guys. This is why we own an airbrush. We'll grab some of that silver, scale 75, mix it in with our decayed metal, and we're going to create a transition. I don't even know if we have to do this. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how this fucking shit works. I don't know how the light interacts with this. I'm just saying half of the reason I bought an airbrush is so I can do this, so I can make transitions happen. It makes me happy to see. So we're going to just skirt the edges, the perimeters, make it shiny on the outside. It's kind of like back in grade school when like you colored, they were like, yo, take your crayon and, you know, trace all the edges first and then do the insides. You know, like that's kind of like I'm channeling my kindergartner self. Here we go, spotting them on, making it look its best, giving it a few fun dimensions, a little bit of contrast here and there. Now we're going to cut in some of these deets real quick. Now, like, I stared at this hammer for a while and I was like, is this made of stone? Is it made of metal? After staring at it for a long time, not being able to find someone who painted it, I determined it was metal. I can tell by the rivets, the weld lines, the way the scratches are, the divots are, like it's hammered metal. So I want to make sure that we capture contrast between the different types of metal. Like these chains are going to be different than the hammer itself. And don't worry, there are plenty of nuts and bolts and teeth and skulls. So we have lots of things to pull the contrast out in here. Today we're exploring getting it all down, admiring this fresh new model, playing around with a couple colors we've never used before, using the next level painting system. So we've already airbrushed it. We locked in a couple of deets. Now we're going to do a quick little dry brush. This works really well in the metal. We're going to use a little bit of that same silver, just let it catch the ridges, the edges, the slashes, and it's going to just bring out some of the deets. You can be kind of aggressive here because we are going to use a wash technique. Just, you know, we left the bones alone because I'll come in later and cut those in with the paintbrush and then, you know, do a couple of spot airbrush techniques. But for now, we're just going to cover that metal 100%, get all the washes done, everything. All right, it's looking good. It's looking pretty streaky, pretty aggressive. Now it's time to do the next level painting system. On big models like this, where I need to throw a wash down, I like to use a gloss varnish. So I'm gonna run a little thinner through the airbrush, a little Vallejo gloss varnish. That's simple, and we're gonna spray this thing down real quick. It does two things, guys. First off, it locks in the subtle airbrushing we just did. Maximum protection comes from a gloss varnish. It's also gonna create a nice glassy surface which helps disperse the wash stage. I'm gonna give it a little bit to dry, do a couple of the things. Back, here we go. Dark tone, strong tone. This is the Army Painter system. A little quick shade mixing medium. We're gonna mix these joints together 50-50 and go to town. We're gonna dab it on, keeping our brush strokes kind of light. The pressure is important here. You don't want to scrape up any of that varnish with an aggressive brush stroke. So we just dab it on, let gravity kind of do its thug thizzle. Move it around, be patient, let the wash find its way into the crevices. The glossy surface we just created will help disperse it away from the flat areas and find its way into the edges, to the cracks, everything. We are going to stay in motion here. If we see any of the wash pulling up into an ocean, we're going to just simply mop it out. That easy. Looking pretty good. This helps us get that contrast, and it helps us eliminate the coffee staining, all the negatives associated with heavy washing. Almost every model you guys see me do, there's a heavy wash involved, but you never see any staining. This is the technique, the next level painting system. It's looking good. We're gonna let gravity do its thug life. We want it to dry up. We want to really admire this model and really see what we got here, because we're gonna spend some time in this hammer. I'm probably gonna spend 3 hours on this hammer live on Twitch. So I'm gonna set it down, I'm gonna let it dry, and while it's doing that, I'll cut something together for you guys. I couldn't help it. Look at this beast. Look at the pose. Look at just the gangster shit right there. That dude is thug-nificent, man. Super happy with this guy, but I'm gonna show you a little scale here. That's that Hellboy we just finished from Mantic. Yo, seriously, play on, players.